Welcome back, everybody. Well, we're going to be cutting hay today. I hope this is the most boring, productive video that I've ever made. So we need to cut all day long. But first, we got to get some parts, and that's what's happening on Ranching Sodak. There's plenty of dew. What did we have? A couple inches of rain here last Thursday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and today is Monday. So we've had the weekend. It did kind of cloud up and sprinkle a little bit over the weekend, but we need to get started. It's the last day of June. We got to start cutting. We haven't cut anything yet besides that rye, you know. It's go time. We got about a 3-day window here. It looks like maybe 4 of no rain. We're gonna try to cut all day long and get as much knocked down as we can today, but we got a bearing out on that cutter. So we need to run up into North Dakota and grab a couple bearings. Get one paw up here. Hey! Can I get you to buckle up, please? Well, it's for safety purposes.
Out real negative there.
I'm always wearing my buckle around the farm and stuff. You guys know that. So let's get buckled up so we can get going.
I'm ready, Captain. Let's do this.
Customer parking. It doesn't say non-paying customer, I guess. So oh, we'll pay him. All right, let's go get our bearings. I'm gonna need your money, girl.
I figured. Sometimes
you get lucky. A little gift from above. I don't know whose this is, but it's mine now. Probably about a $2 value. Nice. Step aside, dogs. Before I take off here, I gotta fix this a little bit. My old Sonoma's about ready to fall apart. This is supposed to be underneath there, I believe. Let me look at the other side. Yeah, see, it's supposed to be underneath that. It popped out maybe last year, and I was gonna put some welding something on there. Let's see if we can't hoist her up and get a closer look at her. Okay. Am I gonna wreck anything? I'm okay. Just trying to hold the camera steady for you guys, and I totally wiped out. YouTubing is dangerous stuff. So this little shackle deal here gets pushed back. This thing popped out, so we got to get this underneath here. Don't put your fingers there, she says. You get kicked in, or is it gonna?
It's gonna go in. You gotta go in a little bit.
I got it over that bolt. I couldn't get that bolt out. I'm gonna have to torch it and put a new bolt in there, and then either weld something around that leaf spring or something, or run a chain. I don't know. But anyway, it's on there now, kind of. Time's run out on this project. I gotta go work on that cutter. She drives a lot nicer, but this is probably the coolest thing that I didn't film for you guys. Look at the front end on the Sonoma. It's got a custom grill guard. We got clearance light blinkers. We got an LED. We got our plate on. This thing is street legal. It's got the angle iron bumper. This was an old ATV flat rack on there. So it rained for like 3 days straight, so I couldn't take it anymore and went out in the shop and put the nose of that thing in there. And man, she's nice. All right, here's the big problem. This bearing is the one that was out. Let's emery that up, and we'll slide that new bearing on there. And I think we just got a greaser. Blew the radiator out, checked all the vital fluids and such like. So we grease her up, and I think we're ready to go start cutting. All right, let's do this. So the book showed there was supposed to be a spacer back here, because this bearing just sets, like floats around right in here. Well, I'm guessing if that auger was pulling back and forth a little bit, well, back up, there was no spacer. So the parts showed a spacer, but I didn't buy one. I just took a piece of pipe here. I think that should be good enough. We'll all know more after a while. So this is a lock collar, and it grabs onto the one side of the bearing. Is, if you can imagine, the outer part of it is kind of like an egg almost. So it's thicker over here and thinner over here. And this is just the opposite. Once you, or this is straight, I guess, straight on the inside, straight on the outside. But when you put it on here, it'll fall over that thing like there. And now it gives you a set hole where you pound it this way. And what that does is this is around the shaft, and then it pushes, it gets tight against that bearing to hold the bearing from spinning on the shaft. Makes the inside of the bearing run with the shaft instead of spinning around the shaft. And then there's a little set screw over here with an Allen wrench, and you tighten that down. And maybe, I think that's how you do it. If I'm doing it wrong, let me know in the comments. Okay, I'll spare you the greasing, but I'm gonna go and grease everything on this thing, and I will pick you up on our way to the field. And we'll see how it goes. All right, let's ride, huh? It's kind of hard to oil that chain because you can't, well, I don't know how to make this thing run when you're not in the seat. I suppose you just get another person to help you. Well, while we're driving, I gotta do a little housekeeping. So, if you watch the little cartoon that Sassy Pants makes on Adventures with Sodak Pete, we are moving him out of the ranching channel. So, if you are one of the people that have been watching that, and there looks like there's been about 1,000 to 1,500 of you watching that, go over to that channel. It's just Adventures with Sodak Pete. Here's the link right there. Go over there. It's going to be all the same videos. There'll be new ones every Thursday. But I need you to subscribe to that channel. Get you over there on both of them so we can kind of get that thing going. We want to try to get more kids into learning about agriculture. These things are educational if you've been watching them. And yeah, we want to get kids involved so they know where their food comes from and just how the country life works. So that's number one. Number two, obviously we got some hats and coffee mugs, gloves at ranchingsodak.com. Go over there and get yourself a little merch. And number three is I have some beef going to the butcher at the end of this month, at the end of July. So if you're within a few hundred miles, we can meet you. You could come to the ranch and pick up your meat, whatever works for you. But I'd like to sell some meat. We're going to be right at market price. It's going to half Wagyu, so we're not doing any big premiums. The market is extremely high, so here's your chance to get a little bit of that if you want. We'll sell quarters, halves, or wholes, and we do have a licensed, federally inspected locker, so everything is legit. So reach out, either email me or text me, and we'll figure out something to get you some meat. And like I said, we've kind of tossed the idea of throwing a freezer in the back end of the stock trailer and a generator, and we will actually probably deliver some of that meat to meet some people if we could get enough of it sold in one area. So don't, yeah, it's gonna cost some money. This stuff is high, but we know beef is good. So I got a car behind me here. I gotta watch out. Well, here we are, and this is the piece where, this is the hill where we did the bale grazing site. I'm not gonna mow it all or cut it all, but I might go around this outside about 4 times. But the piece over there is what we're gonna cut for sure. Probably an epic time lapse to get you guys kicked off here, huh? Well, it wasn't pretty, but we got this cut down. Yeah, she's awful muddy. The gopher mounds are terrible. But this was my worst one. I wanted to get it out of the way, and then we'll have to go clean her up. It's starting to get a little better. But see this, like right here, when these things filled up, then it starts to streak and push. But you know, if it's like this, it can kind of almost cut, but it really needs, that knife needs to come around and be straight when it, to clean off. Lots of mud. And then this stuff here, it won't let the hay get sucked in. You know, it can't get the hay to flip up in, so then the hay just sits here and then it starts to push. Makes a mess. I think this is Nate. We better get him on the channel, as maybe he's too busy to stop. He's ranching. Oh, he's gonna stop and see us. Well, he's ahead of the game. He got his oats cut the other day and he's jacked up. He's gonna try to plant millet in behind his oats if he get it baled off here in the next few days. And he's got another field of hay just cut, baled off, and got her sprayed, so he's gonna try to go millet on top of that too. So he's getting some stuff done, getting more hay than I'm getting done. So I'm gonna go clean this off and hope the next field is better. I'm gonna have a sandwich and pressure wash this off good, get it nice and cleaned up again, and then we'll try to open this next field up. There's definitely less gophers in there. Well, I was gonna wash this, but I decided not to. It's like almost fallen off. We cleaned it off, she cleaned it all off, but what I did is, and I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but these flippers have gotten bent all because of the rocks and the mud. So they're slightly tilt back. So what I did is I just took them off and I flipped them over. So now they're slightly tipped ahead. So when they come around, they're grabbing fully and throwing the mud and the hay in. Hoping that's gonna help, not, because it was building up here and then just bending the flapper down. But it's just not quite ready. It's just a little too muddy out there yet, but we're still trying.
Well, we got a little weed eating project here to do to save all of us some trouble. You can see here it's not real easy to see this hydrant and this rural water upstick and such, so we're going to weed eat it so Matty can keep cutting real quickly. Maybe Dane can add some of our relaxing music so this is a peaceful experience for you.
Well, Seth Schultz and his motorbike are just leaving. They stopped and they were talking for a while. So we got to get back in the cutter and make another round maybe. I don't know. We'll see. You want to ride with me? We might as well make a couple more rounds yet tonight and then I'm going to let you guys go. Well, as the sun goes down a little bit, she got a little sticky again. We're just pushing the envelope on the gopher mounds. I think I'll put new knives on it in the morning because I cut all that rye. They were used last year. Cut all that rye and then I cut today maybe 30 acres, I suppose. Anyways, pretty dirty, making a mess. Knives are dull, so I'm gonna put all new ones in. I was thinking maybe I should put 14-degree ones in instead of 7. And I wonder what that would do, if that would get the dirt, throw the dirt up higher and get it to suck through versus get it on the deck more, or not. But I know a lot of people don't like to use the 14s because of the rocks. It has a tendency to pick up the rocks more. But anyway, listen to me go on. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.